organizing your studio, getting into your supplies and seeing what you have may inspire you to use them and make it easier and faster to create. Hey there, friends! Welcome to my new studio layout. I wanted to share with you today a couple of tips and tricks for getting motivated to creating more. I was in a webinar the other day, and resoundingly, the person running the webinar, Josie, hey Josie, was talking about inspiration and creating more work. And resoundingly, the people in the chat were like, yeah, I totally need to get inspired to work more. Yeah, I totally need to do more work. Yes, I want to create more. And I find that too. So anyways, I was having trouble getting started moving and getting more work done. So here are a couple of quick, easy tips to getting more done and getting more work created. I'm going to read to you just real quick. I want to share with you one of my favorite little books. It's called How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. Great little book. I think of it as a bathroom book because each of these little diatribes in here are just a paragraph or two long. So my first tip number 23 out of the book is clear the studio. This is definitely one of the things that helps me create more work, is getting into my studio and organizing it, because then I can see what I have. I get inspired to play with new things. All sorts of goodness comes from cleaning up your studio. And Jerry writes, clear the studio. When you're stuck, muddled, or you feel you can't move on, try clearing your studio or cleaning it. Picking up, sweeping, moving things around, making new piles of old clutter. My wife is a world champion of this last technique, which helps her write perfect text. I'm guilty of making piles too. In fact, I have some piles of paperwork down here on the floor that you can't see that I'm going through right now from this cleaning spree, right? You can do this every day. It's a way of being physical, of breathing into the work, creeping up on a task at hand. Maybe you'll find something in a pile that sparks a new idea. Mushrooms into fresh growth. And you'll be making space for what Goleth requested on his deathbed, more light. Now, there's a name there at the end that I actually don't know if I pronounced right. So leave me a comment if you know how to pronounce this artist's name. It's spelled Goethe. I'm actually not familiar with his work. So if you've got a great link, share it in the link below and let me know how I did in saying this artist's name. Goethe? Goethe. I'll have to look him up. Maybe that'll be one of our next little shares. So clean the studio, a great way to get going. So organize. I have a great little Lazy Susan here. I love Lazy Susans in the studio. And I keep these wonderful little jars. These are jelly jars. They're that French brand of jelly. Love them. Peel the label off. They're so pretty. I don't know. I just like them a lot. And I keep pencils all in one. So these are all watercolor pens and pencils. So they react with water and they kind of disappear into the artwork. So I use those for sketching. I keep all of my small brushes in another jar, as well as a compass. I keep all of my mark making and cutting tools and hole making tools in another one of these. All my tall ones in a bigger old antique jar. Here in the middle, I've got a jar of all. These are all pencils, traditional charcoal and regular pencils for sketching up things, as well as some white mark-alls. So this one here is a paper, glass, plastic, and fabric. So this will mark on like anything. So tip number 2 is to organize your supplies. So if you're in the studio and you clean up your studio, maybe you also want to spend a little time organizing your supplies. I love Lazy Susans. That's a great way to do this. And jelly jars, just whatever kind of jars you have floating around the house. I also keep a jar of all of my spatulas and, different shaped mark-making tools, right? So all sorts of different stuff. So this is a great way to get organized. Another way to get organized in the studio and get more work done is to actually take the doors off of your cabinets. This was trendy in interior design for a little while, and doors are great for hiding clutter, so you could put doors back on, or you can take them off. So I took the doors off of that Lazy Susan corner cabinet the other day, just yesterday. And I took the doors off that one a couple of weeks ago. And I find it really, really great because now I can see my supplies. So over here in this cabinet, right, I've got all of my mediums. I've got all of my gesso. I've got gesso spray. I've got basic gesso. I've got clear gesso. I've got black gesso, right? I've got sea salt. I've got matte medium. Turns out I have 2 jars of matte medium. I have all these different ice resins. I have tons of spray fixatives up here that I've been toting around since college and grad school. And so by organizing them, I realize what I have, and you might get inspired to use those things, right? And I found out I have duplicates of a lot of stuff. So organizing your studio, getting into your supplies and seeing what you have may inspire you to use them and make it easier and faster to create. That's another little thing that I find really helpful is that, I've got kids, and when I get a chance to create, I only have small moments to create, little bursts of time that I can create in. So by having everything organized and ready to go, I find that really, really helpful, that I can just, having things at hand is very, very helpful. Another tip is to put your favorite inspirational art books in your studio where you can see them all day, right? So this one lives up here. These are all some of my favorite books that if I'm feeling uninspired, I can go to and I can check out, get some quick inspiration from these different art books. So I'm going to share some bits and pieces from those art books over the next couple of weeks in live in the Facebook group. I'm going to share all of my favorite art books and inspirational books with you. So if you're not part of the Artist Appeals Facebook group yet, check it out, join us, and I hope to see you on the inside where you'll get more behind the scenes. So there you have it, a couple of ideas for creating more work and getting more work done. Clean your studio up, organize your supplies on Lazy Susans, take the doors off of your cabinets, and see what duplicates and supplies you have and what things you need to use up. So there you have it. Oh, and number 5 was add your favorite inspirational books to your studio on a shelf. So 5 tips for getting more work done, and nice to talk to you. I'll see you soon. Later.